right, and we're back. Ooh, look at that. We have a Hextech chest. I wonder what's inside it. I hope it's a free skin. Let's open
it's
it
just
up.
a new play-by-play caster. That's all it is.
Outstanding.
Yeah, you rolled low on this one. Sorry.
How much RP do I get for you?
What's the lowest amount of champ cost now?
I've
been around for a
290
while.
RP, I think.
I've been around since 2010 in this game. I am definitely at the low end of the RP.
All right, you know what? That's fine. Okay, either way, we'll move on past
Thank
that.
you,
Go
as
into
always,
our
man.
next game of the day. It is an amateur v amateur matchup. One of the first that we have. We got TBA versus 100X. Damn. Now we'll get to the smiley face roster first here, Cubby, because TBA is a team that we love to talk about.
We talk so much about the collegiate core of Area of Effect, the team that we just saw, 3 members of UWO. Well, it was 3 members of UST on this top side that took them down in the top 8, or the round of 8, I should say, for LOLCC. It was Porsche, Kitsuo, and Robbie Bob. And this core plus Masu has actually made for a very interesting team, I think, for a couple of these open circuit, closed circuit qualifiers in PG. And I think the synergy that we've seen from this collegiate squad has really shined in their gameplay. It's up to a tough task today, though, going up against 100 Thieves next.
Yes, sir. And now, speaking of the top side of it, too, let's get into the mega exchange that we have coming into today, Cubby. That is the top laner for TBA. We have Porsche subbing in. Now, Magical, you were there to actually witness, UST's miraculous win and absolutely phenomenal dominance that they had against every single collegiate team there. And I find Porsche was a big part of it.
Porsche was. I mean, and this is a player I've actually had my eyes on for years because he played in something called Super League Gaming that I used to castle punch for, and so I've seen him for a long time, and I know his playstyle very well. Gangplank is obviously like one of his most played that he just absolutely dominates on, but the guy has a varied style. He's able to play weak side top lane very well, and I know I've heard that Sniper on the other side has been trying to make sure that he can get to that weak side top lane as well, so he has a myriad of different styles that he can bring onto the Rift. I just feel like Porsche has been one of those players when you look at USC and how they're able to find success. It was pretty much either put him on GP, which you could just carry the game on, or you can rely on him as a real good flanker or team fighter for the team.
Because I was talking to Kitsuo before this too. Now he did talk about the flexibility and all the options that Porsche actually offers, right? With his Nara play, his Camille too, and like you mentioned the GP, he used to be a big GP1 trick. But
GP is what
across
I
the board as of right now, he's pretty good at a lot of other champions right now, Cubby. And I find with CBA, this is the kind of flexibility they need if they are to face against a team like 100X.
It's a tough task, and we've already seen this matchup. It was speaking of round of 8 matchups, it was the round of 8 of the last closed qualifier, where 100 Thieves next did 2-0 TBA, and it was pretty one-sided. 100 Thieves next were not challenged, so we're going to have to see if TBA have gone back to the drawing board and can pull out some different strats today.
TBA are also the lowest seed of the teams that were guaranteed out of the play-ins for our amateur teams.
Yeah, you raise a fair point on that because we did see the untimely exit a while back too. No, but TBA, naturally they did rack up in the points. They were, I believe, placed around 4th within just the previous PUCQ split as well. So the core in itself has a lot to offer, right? We had talked a lot about Masu coming in as well, and now with Porsche now here too. I truly do think as them maintaining that 3 core of UST is something that could really be a formidable task for 100X to face. Which, speaking of which, I did want to get down to talking about 100X too, where that squad and its of its own has been making some massive waves in the amateur space here, Magical.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at 100 Thieves next, I know Cubby over here wants to be able to talk about anything 100 Thieves, but I'm going to interrupt him on this one. I'm going to talk a little bit first because I already know he's got way more to say than I do. But when we look at 100 Thieves next, this is a team with a lot of young, talented players. Darkwing, someone who played on Dignitas last split, that was quite impressive. It was a young style that Dignitas tried in spring that I think he really did show that he is a great mid laner and has been showing even more so. He's really grown in 2022. But they got Sniper, the prodigy of top lane. This guy... what more can be said? I already kind of hit on the fact that he's trying to play more styles than just the carries. But I mean, when you can play the carries so well, do you really need to go for weak side?
This is a fun matchup because Sniper, I mean, he is someone that I feel like anyone watching, the LCS that's not familiar with PG, in this match, highest odds that you've heard of someone, it's probably Sniper on the side of 100 Thieves next. And as this 15-year-old talent. I think he's really delivered on some of the hype. And I mean, we're seeing highlights from that round of 8 series we saw against TBA. This outplay was nasty, but also, I think for me, Sniper actually really stepped up against Surdy in the series against EGA. I know it was an 0-2 that put 100 Thieves Next in the lower bracket, but Surdy's someone that we always praise for having really sound lane phases in Academy, especially when Surdy's on his game, and Sniper was able to go toe-to-toe with him in some of those matchups.
Yeah, Sniper is just, I think, a really dominant player, especially when it comes to his lane phase, where I always look at how he's able to find these solo kills. I think he's been dubbed the solo kill king of amateur, just because how many times he is able to find great fights, even when it's like, oh yeah, you shouldn't be able to get a kill like that, but you know what? I can because I'm Sniper.
So when it comes to Sniper, I think that's interesting because I actually am not as big of a fan of his laning phase. I think the thing that's really appealing for Sniper as a prospect, this guy's 15 and he reads team fights like he has played the game for 10 years. It really is incredible. Some of the decisions that he makes in team fights, his visualization. That's why I'm so excited about Sniper as a prospect. Really excited to see where he goes. And if he keeps on putting up performances like this, really big game against Surdy despite the loss against EGA. I mean, Sniper's someone that we're looking out for a reason. We expect him to be the Academy top laner for 100 Thieves next year. And as long as Sniper keeps on performing, it's just really fun to see where his career goes with so much hype behind it. And being one of the first prospects in NA that really has family pedigree behind them, too. Given who Viper, who Crimson are in that family. A lot of success.
You know, I was hoping that maybe Sniper and Viper would also match along with Crimson too, but you know, maybe have it like Cypher or something, just something to match up with it. But it's fine. Not everybody can rhyme in total. But speaking of rhyming, I believe it is time for you gentlemen to take things away. So let's start it off with the second series of the day. Magical Cubby, why don't y'all take it away, dare I say?
All right, you said you rhymed way with away at one point, but it's okay. I'll forgive you on your rhyme. I know you're trying for that, Ravish. But let's get into this game. Let's dissect this series. Because as you had talked about, Cubby, this is a repeat match from the round of 8 that we saw in just the most recent PGCQ. This is where both teams, they faced off. It was a pretty heavy 2-0 for 100 Thieves Next. But then for Team Pending, there's been a lot of growth that they've been able to have over this time, and it's not like they're playing with Papo anymore. They're playing with Porsche, someone who is a little bit more used to playing with Kitsuo, with Robbie Bomb.
And I'm really happy for Porsche. We've talked a little bit about Sniper, not a lot about Porsche. Porsche is someone who, he's 18, his first foot playing collegiate, he won the whole damn thing with UST. They won the first LAN of the season in the fall, the last LAN of the season. Porsche is someone that hit Challenger for the first time at the age of 14, someone that you know from competing in Super League, someone that I'm really looking out for as well. Hopefully we get to run his player card later. We have some fun facts about Porsche there. But this top lane matchup to me is pretty exciting. That said, we do have to dive into the pick ban.
Right.
As 100 Thieves Next, a few of the weird bans that you see, the Rengar, Karthus, Senna, all target bans towards TBA. As Kitsuo, they'll play Rengar, Ivern. They will play Karthus jungle, and Senna from Masu has been ginormous for TBA this split.
But I will say, leaving up the Lee Sin, that is one of those strong picks that Kitsuo does like to fall back onto many times. Despite the meta, despite when it is, if he can get Lee Sin, and especially try to see if he can get those early leads for his team, that's been all the power that TBA, when you even look at the UST days, are able to find these wins.
So, curiously enough, usually when we see in Aphelios, we see Jinx responses. This time around, it's a Sivir. So Sivir does get outranged, can get bullied a little bit in the early lane phase, but of course we've seen how hard Sivir can scale. And I gotta say, the first 3 for 100 Thieves Next, Wukong, Sivir, Yuumi, that is an insane combo on this patch. So TBA, I think already playing from behind in this draft. And I want to see 100 Thieves Next maybe take away some of the things that could help TBA play fast. Also, actually takes away some things that could outrange the side of 100 Thieves Next. Maybe consider getting rid of a Victor, which has been Robbie Bob's most played and most successful champion in this summer.
I'm glad you brought that up, Cody, because I was looking at the one weakness that we really see. Granted, for both sides to a degree, because Aphelios has that mixed range where he can be long range, can not be. But then you have the other side. It's purely low range. You have some engage tools that you can utilize with Wukong and a Yuumi on top. But you need to be able to make up that distance if you're just on the side of 100 Thieves, or deny that distance-making potential for TBA. And so seeing the Azir ban, not too surprised to see that, but I'm expecting that Victor that you had called, no, not the Victor on right side, sorry, Victor on the other side with the Rise.
Yeah, and while we're in a little bit of break here for Pick Ban, great to have you joining me again on the East Sub Magical. But if you're in the chat, guys, send some love to Deserex. He was feeling under the weather today. Would never be able to tell that with how he performed in games 1 and 2.
Really well.
But yeah, had to sit out for the last series of the day. So definitely give Deserex a follow and a shout on Twitter. He is a fantastic play-by-play. But fortunately, we have a deep talent pool here on the broadcast team as well. Get to be joined by Mad Magical for this one.
Yeah, I mean, how many times have I e-subbed at this point?
It's a lot. Too many. But, you know, it's always good to have you around, buddy, as can always count on you.
It's always good to be back, but let's get into the draft here. We do see that Victor ban, and interesting to see. Corki was something that Robbie Bob used a lot of during the Collegiate LoL Championship. He played this a lot, but that was back before nerfs, before he kind of got clutched on a lot of these slings that took down a lot of those cooldowns.
A lot of changes. Something that I actually want to see, maybe considered by 100 Thieves next, I think Ornn's pretty good. Ways to get rid of Corki package, very powerful. Wukong, Yuumi are ways to force Corki package out early. Ornn for Sniper is something that would fit this comp really well. I know I'm, putting Sniper on Ornn is probably something that Papa Smithy and 100 Thieves Next are against, and said it is going to be that blind Aatrox. So this is something that will struggle with some of the range that TBA has, but this is Sniper. I think Sniper's most comfortable blind, as his Gnar has been good, but at his core, he is an Aatrox player, as the response for Darklings will be Orianna. So a very sound team fighting composition with a lot of scaling in the hands of 100 Thieves Next.
And I like it because we were talking about the range discrepancies from both teams. And I feel like with Orianna, it really does make up for a lot of that purely with Shockwave comboed on a Wukong or an Aatrox to keep them all within this low range. And yeah, you're looking at the top lane. Of course, it's Gnar. That's expected. The Gangplank was also open, but you don't want to play that into Aatrox.
I really like the draft for 100 Thieves next. I know that this is something that Kitsuo, he's willing to play that Lee Sin into Wukong. Lee is Kitsuo's most played champ throughout Amateur this summer. It's something that was actually a winning draft strategy for University of St. Thomas in those collegiate championships, but you're going up against Fnatic. And Fnatic, for me, has hands down been the strongest jungler that we have had in Amateur. I know that everyone just got a taste of Winnie, how well he was able to play into Acadian. But Fnatic, for me, has been fantastic this summer. This is someone that I think is an academy-level player. I was vouching, if an LCS team imploded, I think Fnatic would have been a good pickup for maybe even LCS teams, given his experience. The fact that he is a shot caller is the primary comms, and you wouldn't have to pay for a buyout with 100 Thieves next. But I think that Fan's been fantastic. And giving him the Wukong, his best champion, he's 11-3 on it in the summer. I think that's a real challenge, and Wukong brings so much team fight power for 100 Thieves next. In amateur matchups, we see a lot of team fights, so we're gonna have to see if TBA can make some plays outside the team fights and find some skirmishes that can go in their favor. You want to top 100 Thieves next in this one.
Well, looking at how this game will go, we got to dive onto the Rift and make sure that it is going to be the fiesta. The team fights abound from both teams. 100 Thieves next here in the lower bracket, fighting for their lives against TBA. Also on the other side, the US team members that tasted victory back in Collegiate LoL want to make sure they don't get knocked out too early in the Proving Grounds.
Yeah, and it's not just the topside core of TBA. Of course, Porsche is joining for Topo in this tournament. Porsche was previously competing with Jake's Kittens, who unfortunately had to turn in the Jake's Strays due to Ryoma and Prismal getting some time with the cat. Kangas wrote that one first, but you know, we'll use it. Yeah, and I mean, we're going to play the hits.
No. We don't give Kangas credit here. No.
Oh, that's right. But anyway, I know from talking with Porsche before this, he had a really great time on Jake's Kittens. That was a damn good amateur roster that would have been in this tournament. Scoops and Prismal were a great bot lane. But the fact that Porsche got to play with players like Prismal and Ryoma was definitely, what he said, a big part of his growth as a player. And going up against Sniper, both these guys are young prospects. Sniper, of course, has a few years on him, but I think both are very skilled. Really curious to see how that top lane matchup goes, and to see if Porsche can really live up to fight the hype that is Sniper in this top side.
With Gnar, something that we've seen many times now in this meta, going up against Aatrox, you do initially have a pretty fair laning phase against Aatrox, but that's why I'm kind of keeping my eyes on that and going to temper my expectations, because we've seen Sniper, even in counter matchups, play incredibly well, defying victories.
Yeah, and I mean, that's something that Porsche even mentioned. He's like, Sniper, even Porsche recognizes it. Sniper's proven himself mechanically. He's hit rank 1 of the ladder at a very young age. And he said that Sniper was the player that he was most looking forward to playing against in all of Proving Grounds. So we'll see if Porsche can live up to that task again. Do want to return to the map, though, as it is going to be top to bottom clears from each jungler, trying to support this bot side. Should be good for Kitsuo early, as his bot lane will have shove.
I was even going to ask for that, since we do see kind of the top to bot clears going in for both sides. Do we expect to see some fights in the spot lane, especially with Masu and Kim Down about to get level 2?
I am expecting 100 Thieves next to wait to 6 to fight, and once they hit 6, they can hit their spike very hard. If Gnar is mini, they will press Sivir R and run at them. Until then, though, they do have to respect some of the power of the Lee Sin.
So now with most of the lanes actually being a good state for TBA, pretty much every lane has an advantage. This gives Kitsuo a lot of priority around River and where he wants to play. It's looking like he might even look for a mid lane play. They got a ward, but Fnatic is right there.
Like this from Kitsuo, and I like the fact that TBA, this is supported by the bot lane, so we'll see if Fnatic's wise to it. Darkwing somewhat scouting out. Okay, Kitsuo, we'll spot him, we'll deny some of the small chicken nuggets, but Fnatic gets most of it, and that bot lane has to return to honor the wave. So Fan able to get out with everything. We'll go to top crab, and the first play for TBA neutralized by 100 Thieves next.
Nothing gained, nothing lost for 100 Thieves next, except for maybe 1 or 2 chicken nuggets. But the fact that the Scuttle Crabs will be even, Kitsuo not able to find that early play you want to on Lee Sin. Back to the drawing boards for TBA. Fnatic even has his own liberty to see if he wants to invade.
I love this from Fan. So Fan just saw Kitsuo, knows that he 4-camped, so he can figure that the Krugs are up. It is an item advantage for Porsche, but Porsche does have to be careful here. If he trades very aggressively, which you look to do off of a cheater recall when you have an itemization advantage, he could get ganked by Fnatic. So, again, I think Fnatic jungle pathing, clearing, very, very sound in this game. Something that we've grown to expect from Fnatic in Amateur, who, again, jungle is the deepest talent pool that we have in NA. Fnatic is consistently on the precipice of being considered an academy level jungler in terms of a position. I definitely consider him that in terms of skill, much like Keel. And we'll see if Fnatic can step up and prove that today in this series.
Right, and you can even make the argument that Fnatic is an academy level player because he's played in the academy in the past. He's already gotten that experience. So it's like saying that he's academy level already. It's like, yeah, of course he is. He's gotten an opportunity.
That's true, but you have to keep on earning it. I mean, this is 100 Thieves next. I have pitched them as an academy level team, and we will see if they can step up as Kitsuo, trading out the Krug camps, is able to get out. Fnatic will spot him. I will say Fnatic actually did sack his clear for this move, so he's going to help the bot lane crash, as he's going to help them escort the wave in, but it was a top to bot, so he's skipping over Gromp and Wolves to show here.
Spotted out, and like you said, kind of losing a lot. For the side of TBA, not a bad play. We're able to at least kill a lot of time from Fnatic, stealing away the Krug to reciprocate what had happened earlier, getting the Gromp, so they have that advantage, and easily can rotate around for that second Scuttle Crab that is going to be on the bottom half of the map.
Looks like Fnatic going for the reverse clear now, as is working his way towards the top side. Sniper getting closer to 6, could look to make a play on the Porsche. Porsche's been playing out the early lane rather well, and it looks to be the Eclipse build for Sniper. Saw that first NA from Whippo.
Oh, him down. Gotta be careful on those kind of plays, especially with the power that you have with Sivir and a Yuumi. But without that much mana lens, just gonna make sure that they're gonna recall, gaining some sort of a foothold for 100 Thieves next.
In this early game for 100 Thieves next, it's even. But when you're going up against the Lee Sin, and you have a Wukong, Orianna, Sivir, Yuumi, that's winning.
Exactly.
This mid-game, with the late-game insurance being Sivir Yuumi, could be massive here for Hunter next as Dark Wings.
Slowing down. That's going to be a good shockwave to try to disengage Fnatic on the other side. He's going to dive in with the Saccharine Blow, looking at Kitsuo, who had to flash away in order to be able to survive.
Fnatic, that's the bot crab for him. Could potentially look for a bot dive, but the mid-hover being very sound there from Fnatic as him and Darkwing sync up. Nice shockwave to deter the aggression from Team Pending. It's going to net 100 Thieves next. Good resets on the bot side.
Good resets for 100 next on the bot side. I even think that they can get a reset in mid lane after this wave crashes. They have a lot of advantages. They have a lot of plays, lanes that are working out well. The only thing is Kitsuo towards the top side of the map with Mega Gnar. Of course, she could flash in for the Gnar, all depending. The World Ender pop, Boulder not connecting. But Sniper can turn this. They got to be careful, so they decide to bail completely.
A lot of respect being paid. And this is a slower early game for 100 Thieves next, but before the series, I mean, it's a part of the plan, but also they catch up with Dark Wings before the series. And obviously that loss to EGA, it was a somewhat close series, but EGA got the best of them. I know, like, the big takeaway that Darkwing said that the team had is that when they were reviewing it, they felt like they were rushed to do things. So trying to be calculated when it comes to their aggression is something that I'm going to look out for 100 Thieves Next, as Darkwing cited that's something they worked on after that loss. And I got to say, not fighting till 6, I think, is the right call with this composition, as they're going to try and make sure that they're fighting when their timers are good, not just fighting the fight. And we'll see if that can help 100 Thieves Next overcome TBA today.
That's where it feels like TBA might be on that timer even more so now. You have good scaling elements. Corki, Aphelios, those aren't bad. They're going to help out pretty well.
Yeah.
But the fact that you're going up against Sivir Yumi, there's got to be pressure onto TBA to make these plays. And you can see Kitsuo feels that pressure, looking for Sniper again.
Yeah, 6.
Flash it, but the
Nice
flash away. Nicely done. Cyclone should be there. No, it's not. It's only level 5 for Fnatic. Of course, taking a lot of damage. And they jump on
Kitsuo.
Sniper and for first blood. Kitsuo finding the kick to start it off.
Kitsuo's up a camp. He's up a level. That level 6 was clutch for TBA as the UST topside. They sync up. They take down Sniper.
I thought Fnatic was there and he had that ult, but he didn't finish Gromp. He was on it and decided to peel back to save Sniper's life instead.
And he just got 6 too, so it was literally that close. He gets that one camp. He's 6. That fight could go in 100 Thieves Next favor. Not the case though. TBA makes the play first.
And we got to take a look at that replay, and it's pretty much as described. You see Kitsuo already here, and then Fnatic wanted the Gromp, but he noticed Kitsuo.
It's a good flash from Sniper. I think the re-engage, though, is a mistake. They're trying to punish the Mininar, but Kitsuo weaves in a brilliant Sonic Wave in between the minions, and that's enough to take down Sniper and give TBA first blood and a little bit of lead in the top side.
When you play Lee Sin, those are the kind of plays you need to have worked out before the 10-minute mark, and sure enough, we're only 9 minutes into the game. TBA, it's a good advantage they can utilize. That's how I always see with Lee Sin games. It's about how you can translate that into other lanes and make sure that you're getting your team ahead as well.
I think important to note because at the moment, that ult is down for Darkwings, getting learned from production. It was used to clear the mid wave. I'd say that's well worth it, as Rift Herald secured for free for 100 Thieves Next off of that push mid and the response from TBA. So we'll see what Fnatic can get out of this Rift Herald, as at the moment, TBA, they're the ones that have that power in Porsche's hands already. But we will see if that Rift can maybe be a big play that can turn things back in 100 Thieves Next favor.
You crashed that mid lane, right?
Ooh. We're going to talk about where we're throwing Rifts now?
Yeah. Because it's a Corki. It doesn't matter if Corki's been nerfed. I feel like it's still hard for it to crack mid lane when you're facing off with an Orianna. You both wave clear very well. So I feel like Rift Herald would be appropriate mid.
It depends. I'm actually a big fan of power plays in the side, because if you can get it to crash into an inner turret gold is a lot. So I think that the game plan, if I'm 100 Thieves Next, is to keep on playing towards the top side and try and create a scenario where Sivir and Aphelios are just each left to farm to their own devices, because Sivir will benefit off that if Sivir is allowed to be accelerated into the game. That is the one thing that I think is going really well for TBA right now. They do have a dragon, and their bot lane's ahead. Keeping Sivir at the item curve or below, better for TBA. Sivir gets ahead, things get doomed.
Gotcha. All right. We'll have to see whether you're going to be right, I'm going to be right, or if we're both wrong and it goes top lane. Because there's only 3 options.
I'm going top. That's my vote. I want it top.
You're going top with Lens there, right?
No. Top for Sniper. Leave Lens alone bot versus Aphelios.
I thought you were saying that you wanted the Sivir to get ahead.
No. I mean, I would love the Sivir to get ahead, but if you leave Sivir in the isolated 1v1, she will get ahead over time. That's how we do it. It's a win-win scenario, man.
Gotcha. So
we love those.
So we still have something, but it's more you expected top lane. I thought you wanted bot lane, but whatever. We'll have to see if that's going to happen. Yeah, we're getting there. And with the fact that you have a lot of 100 Thieves Next members already grouping up towards the spot lane, it looks like neither of us are going to be right. It's going to be pop spot lane.
So Kitsuo was spotted mid. Again, this is a power play in the side lane. They're going to drop this Rift Herald, funnel some gold into Lens, so it looks like Lens is going to pick up 3 points off this.
Cubby, this is where you made a mistake. You should have just gone along with what I said. Yeah, bot lane. Yeah.
Well, I mean, you are the superior analyst. Like, we thought it was Ravage coming into the day. It's actually you.
No, I'm the biggest brain. We all know this.
This is still Academy. These are the rules.
And speaking of Academy, Shockwave, using mid lane by our former mid laner in Dick Toss Academy. Ooh, that was just a good use of package. Burning that from 100 Thieves, getting that out, is a pretty good timer because it doesn't really line up with anything.
Yeah, a little reaction speed test there from Fnatic onto Robbie Bob. He answered yes.
Well, I'm just saying, package is down. It's 3 minutes until that dragon spawns.
That's
You're not
true.
going to have the package up.
For me, that is a bit of a questionable package take from the side of TBA, as I think they're going to save it now to try and fight for the 3rd dragon potentially. But this is a scary mid game for TBA,
Okay.
as really their only point of power is Lee Sin Nar on the top side, and Kitsuo trying to cash in on it now.
Oh, look at that. Dark Wings TP'd in, and now Kitsuo
Here comes Sniper.
in a bad position, looking for the kick away so he can get towards his team, but he picks up the kill on the monkey instead. Looking to fight back against Sniper. He will be taken
Hold
down
on.
by Oriana. Now Porsche getting chased down by Sniper on the other side.
Oh,
Somehow
sword.
Yumi, the flank Yumi. Nobody ever suspects the Yumi for the double kill out of Dark Wings.
It's a battle Yumi, baby. That Yumi came up big as the cat was solo, able to help make sure that play goes in 100 Thieves' next favor as Kitsuo. He is the point of power on the map for TBA, but he goes in too deep. The team can't support him on 100 Thieves' side of the map. They're able to collapse first, and they turn it in their favor.
I just am so happy to see that Sword playing Yumi, still playing his style, which is usually back in the past when we first saw him swap from mid lane to the supportive role, there was a lot of that Galio, a lot of the things that could initiate for the team. But here he plays Yumi, and he's still playing more of that flank initiation style.
And I love the insta TP from Darkwings out of base, as we are going to get a peek bot side, I assume Lens.
Ooh, it's a good flash.
Okay, he had to burn the flash. He had no spell shield, but was able to get around that. But again, Darkwings, the insta TP, that's what enables this play to be turned in 100 Thieves' next favor. The fact that Darkwings here before Robbie Bob. And it's big for Darkwings. He picks up 2 kills off the back half of this play. That Oriana, again, the ability to control space against Aphelios, against the Gnar, is very critical in the later stages for 100 Thieves next. If Darkwings gets ahead, gonna make things very difficult for TBA. 2 kills onto him, and now a brick for Sivir in the bot lane too. Everything's coming up 100 Thieves next in this early game.
Soloed as well for Len. So with this lane state, if we get to take a look at the gold that was favoring Masu, he's doing a great job. He's already got that Gale Force, looking towards what I believe to be a collector, but now losing out on that turret. With Lens catching up, he was down about 30 CS a couple minutes ago. Sivir is getting to that point of power. So you see, yeah, actually it is Sivir with the gold lead out of the 2.
And now, moving into this mid game, it's all about this Wukong Yumi. If they're able to sync up, able to find plays,
Oh no,
they're gonna
Robbie.
look for Robbie Bob now. Robbie Bob's in trouble.
Oh no, Robbie. He hasn't even been able to use the Valkyries. He's been locked up for that long. Got a little bit of defense coming in with the kick away from
Nice.
Kitsuo. They have the hunt if they want to. They've got damage, but they are going to relent.
I like 100 Thieves Next showing some of that restraint they talked about, too. They just got an ult out of Lee Sin. Dragon spawning in 25 seconds. Just return, manicure the waves, take the camps, and fight on an ult advantage when you're strong. I think this is the right call for 100 Thieves Next. Now, on the flip side, though, Kim
Oh no,
down.
Kitsuo. This could be risky. The flash came in from Kim down. He has used that spell
hold
shield
on.
on Lens, so they
Hold
can
on.
get the kill onto Kim down. Kitsuo and Masu, they're in a bad spot. Gale Force away is not enough to save them, even though they turn one back. Kitsuo, he's been attacked by the Clockwork Wind-Up with the shockwave onto Porsche. Robbie Bob, he just showed back up, but he couldn't do a damn thing.
And that setup from Kim down, I think TBA were pressured to make a play because Porsche was here, Sniper was not. But the setup from Kim down, hey, you're engaging onto a Sivir, right? All you have to do is press E. Exactly what Lens does. This flash, all the spells from Renata burned on the Sivir, just 100% neutralized by 100 Thieves Next. Fnatic turns around with the ult advantage, and this early game, all 100 Thieves Next, and it's getting worse.
Underneath the turret was looking for a solo kill against Porsche this time, but couldn't get it. Enough damage was not there.
Still, the pressure keeping Porsche in the top side. It's really optimistic plays for 100 Thieves Next. We're going to take another look. Again, Kim down. Burn Splash and ult into Lens for nothing. And this just enables Fnatic. He has his ult, Kitsuo does not. This play is so winning for 100 Thieves Next. So I think TBA, because Porsche is here, because Sniper's top, they felt pressured to make a play while TP was down. It doesn't come up their way, though, and TBA fall further behind.
I think there's also Kim Down's plan. The plan was to flash in, Handshake to burn the spell shield, then use hostile takeover. But Handshake was flashed away as well. Not flashed away, it was charged away by Lens as well. So they didn't have that ability to burn the spell shield that made that fight completely 100 Thieves Next sided.
Well played from Lens, as someone that I know talking with Fnatic. Oh, hold on, Fnatic. He might be looking for more.
Could, but
They
I
have
don't
Yumi,
think
they can chase.
Seems a little risky at the moment, especially with Mega Gnar. There's Porsche, going to look for the slow, but they don't want to engage, especially against Wukong with the Yumi on his back, missing Wallop. Falling back
Skill
as best they
checks.
can, but here comes the final chapter.
He's going
to be able to
mini.
get the root. That is now an ult burn off of 100 Thieves Next.
But still keeping Gnar there. That's going to be another wave crashing on the top side. No dice, though, for 100 Thieves Next, but I did want to return it, though. 100 Thieves Next, talking with them, their team. Fnatic, someone that always feels like the player that doesn't get enough credit on this roster is Lens. This rookie AD is really trying to come into his own. Really tough matchup against EGA, going up against Cowrie, someone that, you know, TCL MVP. That's not easy for Lens, and Cowrie, I think, took advantage of that matchup. But Lens, this game, did get a little bit behind in the losing matchup early, but has really caught up nicely in the Sivir. Now, this map's all 100
Caught
Thieves.
out alone. That hostile
all
takeover
100
and
Thieves.
bailout are nothing. Like you said, it is all 100 Thieves. It's almost like it's GG, go next.
They're not done, Porsche.
Yeah, Porsche, no, he'll die. He'll definitely die. I
Okay.
was wondering if he was going to be able to live there. Sniper on the flank. Well done. 100 Thieves next. This team, like, looking at a lot of the stories with them, there's a lot of young players, but Fnatic is someone who has been around for quite some time. So having him lead the charge of so many of these players, and you can really see it, he is the one leading the charge, and many of these plays with the sword on top of him.
And much like Kitsuo is the one that's the driving force for TBA, but Fnatic, again, he's been so good this split. Someone that I feel like is just always criminally slept on. And someone that, you know, I want to cast an academy, get our chance here for PG, but whoa, Kitsuo, that was creative.
That was creative, and they got a lot of damage on the
Red
sniper as
Smite?
well. If they can connect one more missile, he'll die. And there it is. Got the last with the shockwave.
All right, Kitsuo, shot caller, the leader for TBA. He's got 100% KP, still trying to make some plays. As that's at least a little bit of gold back in the pockets of TBA, but Dark Wings clears out the jungle camps. Still show up for 100 Thieves next in the sides, and you can't get any major objective off of it. So,
Yeah.
still looking good for 100 Thieves.
With the fact that you have 2 minutes left until there'll even be another neutral objective to really contest against. Sure, Baron's going to be up before then. I doubt that either team are going to want to try to hard commit for that unless they can find a really, really good one-sided fight.
It's got to be the next dragon fight. And this really is the point of the game where I think things are very difficult for the side of TBA. Because we're looking at Wukong plus Orianna in the mid game. With both Orianna and Sivir, the 2 carries for 100 Thieves next, being ahead of the power curve. As it's 2 items and a BF sword for Sivir at this point of the game versus just 2 items for Masu. The way that Sivir plus Yuumi can empower this Wukong to just run through the back line of TBA, very difficult for them to deal with. I think a lot is going to come on, down onto Kimdown to have these big hostile takeovers to try and stop the dog pile from 100 Thieves next.
Kimdown is one of the few players, actually, I think at this moment, the only player. No, Masu too. That was not a part of the UST roster. He was someone brought in to sub in for Shookies the last minute. UCI's support player. So you really need to see that if he can build up that synergy really quickly here in this fight, it could make or break everything.
And it's tough too, because 100 next then it's his first split, but it's also the first split for Masu, 17-year-old marksman that honestly has been very impressive in my eyes with his play in amateur. So see if he can step up here as Kimdown. That's a lot of HP that Lens just took from him.
Oh, they've got the package on the other side. That's why Robin Bob's here. They've got them cordoned away.
Grouped.
They have them all grouped up, but they're on the
Australian
wrong side of the map. Yeah, exactly. So 100 Thieves next make the call. They're like, hey, let's take this turret instead, so at least we can get something. While TBA, they're not certain on what to do. They don't know where all the members of 100 Thieves next are. They're all in fog. They spotted them out now. There's going to be the prowling projectile missing, and here's going to be the package over, but it's not going to do anything. He has to get him out of there. He flashed forward, but now, where's the retreat from 100 Thieves? Can they even get out of here? Or is it going to be too much damage? Blastcone saving their lives just barely with the shockwave as well.
Clinical from 100 Thieves next as all the move speed they have access to with the Yuumi, with the Orianna, the zone control. Some of the things we said would be so difficult for TBA to overcome. They just pull a ring around the rosy on them. They go from Australian setup to Dragon setup, and they're the ones that walk away with all the objectives in the end as TBA are not able to get anything off the Corki package. And 100 Thieves next continue to snowball their powerful mid game into more gold lead, more gold in their favor.
It is an impressive play just to see that. They're like, yeah, you know what? If you're not going to force the issue of Dragon, we'll just take this top lane turn. We've got enough players here that we can easily take this. And for TBA's sake, if they had made the call for the Dragon, it would have just been a straight. It would have still been 100 Thieves next, probably getting out of there. But unfortunately, because they decided to chase, they didn't gain anything off of it.
Little ring around the rose. Never heard anyone mad magical. 100 Thieves next.
It hurt TBA.
Oh, that's true. But, you know, a clever solution there from 100 Thieves next. Getting out of a precarious situation.
It was really well done, honestly. I love
Yeah,
those kind of
it's
macro
clever.
calls, especially from really young players, where pretty much across the board of 100 Thieves next. The shot calling from Fnatic to really lead that charge as well. Say, hey, yeah, we can get this turret pretty easily, and who knows? Maybe we can get more if they decide to fight us in a choke point, especially with something like Yuumi and Wukong still having both their ults.
Yeah, I love the positioning from Darkwings too in that situation on the Orianna. Someone that, again, I think Darkwings, very impressive achievement from him. This is his 4th Proving Grounds, so he's qualified for every Proving Grounds, all on different teams and different orgs. 3 times as an amateur, once last split on Dignitas Academy as well. I think it really speaks to Darkwings as a player, someone that's very flexible, has really helped out 100 Thieves Next in the mid lane as the Insanity Darkwing swap was on. Thought it was a no-brainer pickup for the amateur squad of 100 Thieves, and Darkwings is the big carry in this game, is him and Sivir, again, ahead of the power curve. And we'll see if 100 Thieves Next can force that into a Baron. It is a little bit scary into the poke of Corki, but if they control the sideways well enough, they will open up a window for them to start it, and they have started it now.
Peeling back, there's on the hunt. They're chasing down. No pack for Corki. The flash in.
Here we go.
Cyclone. The final chapter as well. The TP coming in. They've already lost Renata. They're looking for Robbie Bob. He's got to bail up, and it's not going to be able to save him at all, as they're now getting eviscerated. 100 Thieves.
No Mega.
Have them all corralled, but there's a lot of damage onto Lens, and here's Sniper, the last remaining member who was not a part of it all, so they can hunt down Masu, the sole survivor. The flash is in, and they've got the Darkened Blade slamming down for an ace.
That's a clean ace for 100 Thieves Next. We were talking about the team fight, the setup, and all it took was Corki looking at him a little bit funny from that mid lane for Fnatic. Lens to press the R buttons, chase him down. 100 Thieves Next, wipe the map, take the Baron, and man, they were playing with confidence. I know dropping the lower bracket, that can suck, but sometimes when your backs are up against the wall, that's where you can come together as a team and really prove that you have more in the tank. And 100 Thieves Next making this game look clinical against TBA.
They are the #1 seed of Amateur. They're the team that everyone looked to as being the one that possibly could take down Academy teams. While AoE Ginger Tumor have taken the spotlight away from them, this is still a team that beat TBA 2-0, that beat many of the teams that we see now in the Proving Grounds previously before.
And as Darkwings called lower bracket, it's a wake-up call for us. With Darkwings all said, if we play our game, we have faith that we can compete with anyone. And, going up against TBA, team that really struggled against TLA, something that everyone's done, but those games were not very close.
Yeah.
It really feels like 100 Thieves Next trying to emulate the same, and playing very well, I must say. I was very impressed with the game plan. I think Fnatic's early clear really helped control the map in favor of 100 Thieves Next. Wound up to get to that level 6 onwards, where this comp really starts to get powerful in the team fights, and man, they've taken full advantage of that, as it's a 7k gold lead 25 minutes in. See if 100 Thieves Next can turn this into a clean sub-30 win.
Should be able to, and it is expected from this
Yeah, they're
team.
pretty strong.
There's been a lot of hype built around this team for so long during this entire split,
Yep.
but even previously with the iteration, with Insanity on them instead of Darkwings. So many people have put joy and pride on how good this team is. Looking at 100 Thieves and the staff behind them, they believe a lot of these players are the future that they will look towards for Academy.
I mean, Sniper's a no-brainer. We'll see what the plans end up being moving on. But again, this is a team, both splits. I said I rated them as an Academy team. And now, looking to end.
This should just be an easy fight for them, even with an Arl. It's only on to Fnatic. He got all the attention. He will dive, and guess who's here? It's Sniper. They're excited.
Lens is so
They've got
big.
the damage. Masu's gonna die, and Lens is gigantic in these fights, throwing out the boomerang blades, picking up more kills. Double kill for Sniper. Game is over. 100 Thieves Next will claim victory in game 1 against TBA, unless a miracle can happen. But I don't think that's gonna happen, Cubby. You're like, well, maybe. It's 30 seconds until anyone else spawns, Cubby. It's a long time away. Exactly. I'm glad you see my way now. Game 1 for 100 Thieves Next.
Hey, my way or the highway, that sure seemed like the motto for 100 Thieves Next in that game. As, again, some of the things that they were talking about after dropping that series to EGA. Hey, we had to review our series. We felt like we were being aggressive at timers that weren't great for us. Just being aggressive to be aggressive. What happened that game? They drafted a comp that was clear. Hey, we need level 6 to fight. Hey, we can use Wukong Orianna in the mid game to really control the game from mid. 100 Thieves Next played exactly to that game plan. And while Kitsuo tried to break out of the Lee Sin, it was just never enough to challenge 100 Thieves Next. And I really like seeing our amateur teams follow through on some of the things they were talking about in practice. Of course, a lot of academy experience on this squad. Darkwings himself having that from Dig, but still, seeing our teams improve week to week, something that is important for PG and trying to make that lower bracket run that these teams, it's a lofty goal, but it's what they're seeking out to do.
Become the dark horse themselves of Proving Grounds. One game away for 100 Thieves next to move on in the lower bracket, but TBA, they've got to fight back tooth and nail because their backs are against the wall. This will depend on their fates in Proving Grounds as a whole. We're going to toss this up break, and when we come back, we'll have the most ravishing man on the internet here for our halftime show.